Gentlemen, Sovietwomble is back and doing an even more preposterous game. This is random PUBG BS Part 1. You know I just hate Battle Royales, so this is definitely going to be a great one. Let's get into it. It's copyrighted music. My nemesis. I think this must just be a troll, but this is 4 years ago, so they may not have had so many reactors. But if your goal is to screw with me, this is how you would do it, by playing copyrighted music right in the first 30 seconds.
Every time I try to do an intro, you just come in out of nowhere. The culling, and now go away.
Stop it! I can't handle this. I can't handle this. I don't need this.
No, you've ruined it. Fuck it.
No, I
Gotta love it, guys. As you know, for some reason, all right, this is what bothers me. YouTubers understand that there's the old saying, there's no such thing as bad press, that as long as you're properly linking and you're not, just blatantly stealing content, using other YouTube videos in your own is generally something that's going to boost your own content, right? It's going to draw more fans to it. It's going to favor it in the algorithm. But legacy media companies don't seem to understand this. They're like, if you use 10 seconds of a classic Billy Joel hit that literally no one under 30 has listened to in the past 6 years, then they are going to crack down on that, which is nonsense, right? How often do songs get popular just because of a 10-second clip in a television show or a 30-second clip in a viral TikTok, right? There's a song by the band The Mountain Goats, who I listened to when I was in college, and it's become a viral hit thanks to TikTok. But it's only possible to draw those new fans in if you're willing to let your music get used in other new creative venues. And inexplicably, in the case of music, courts have decided that even if you're using it in a new and original way, it's not fair use. In fact, there's been some court cases that are actually disturbing, where some analysts believe that lawyers attempted to basically sue someone else for copyright. I think it was like Katy Perry being sued by an extremely obscure Christian musician. And the allegation was not that she lifted the whole song, but that she lifted a 4-note sequence. Bear in mind that in music, there's only 12 total notes. So it's sort of like trying to copyright 4 letters like the word look. Right? Imagine if you had to pay a dime to a corporation every time you used a simple 4-letter word like look or seem or something, right? A very, very, something so basic. And yet, because they intentionally selected a jury trial where everyone who would be deciding this case had no music background, had no musical expertise, didn't understand what they were looking at, they were successfully able to persuade the jury that this very simple sequence that's honestly featured in hundreds of songs across cultures, across time, was actually copyrighted by an obscure Christian musician in the 90s and then stolen by Katy Perry. I think, let me know in the comments if I'm getting the artists right, but the point is that the legal system in the US around music copyright is so bizarre and so heavily litigated, and it's almost nonsense. Another good example is the masters of Taylor Swift's music. If you are familiar with this controversy at all, it's again a case of just some true copyright nonsense. Taylor Swift owns the lyrics, owns the recording of her song, but someone else owns the rights to the masters, i.e. the mastered copies, if I'm following this correctly. And mastering is considered its own sort of art form, its own transformative thing. So you can own the rights to a song, but if you don't own the rights to the masters, then you don't own the right to the final finished product that goes on the radio. And Taylor Swift's masters were purchased by someone else through a series of like weird contractual things and he was basically holding her own music hostage despite her owning the rights to the music. So to solve this problem, she just re-recorded all of her songs and remastered them herself, ensuring that she owned the rights to these new remastered songs. And I'm here to tell you, despite the courts saying that one mastered version is totally different from another mastered version, they're exactly the same, almost indistinguishable. A hardcore Taylor Swift fan could probably tell the difference between her earliest work and her modern work. But other than that, they sound virtually identical. And yet the courts have decided that this completely duplicatable, very simple process of mastering is legally its own art form. It's total bananas.
Oh, Jesus Christ. I'm coming. Hang in there. Hang in there, I'm coming.
I killed him, it's alright.
Right, first person was Lara Croft. Hello. Oh, okay, lost to Lara Croft. Holy shit.
Bald,
Oh, damn it.
Lara Croft.
Is everybody Lara Croft? Oh no, Ezio down there, it's fine. Right.
It's like,
Can you stop shooting me full of arrows?
It is weird.
Yeah, seeing a bunch of half-naked men with helmets. But I will say that if there's one thing in combat that we've found, it's that the helmet is one of the most important pieces of equipment in modern warfare. And that's just because the brain is so incredibly sensitive and so incredibly vulnerable that having a protected helmet is going to make a tremendous difference. It can stop shrapnel, it can stop certain types of bullets, and most importantly, it can prevent a certain level of concussions, but the helmet can't rest on the head. You can't have steel connecting to skull because imagine if you were to punch a steel connected to skull type of helmet with no space between them, right? The head and the brain would still get concussed in the same way. So you have to ensure that there's a space either filled by foam or literally some like netting or webbing, keeping the helmet off of the head to ensure that the brain is protected from concussive blows or physical objects kind of battering it. That said, it's untrue that most helmets actually cannot stop assault rifle rounds and above. They can stop, modern ones can stop pistol rounds and a lot of shrapnel. But I would say even things like riding in vehicles, one of the biggest things that can injure you riding in a armored vehicle that gets hit by an IED is not the explosive force like shrapnel, right? It's the fact that you are like a bug in a jar. And when a vehicle gets hit, it's like you shake the jar really hard. And as the bug goes flying inside, your brain, your head is that bug. And it's going to get whipped around, mashed into the sides of doors, mashed into objects. It's one of the reasons actually the inside of combat vehicles, almost every object is tied down. Because again, when the whole vehicle gets jostled from an explosion, those tiny objects, even things like pens or loose spent shell casings, can become lethal objects, right? Imagine, again, an entire case of 50 cal ammunition coming loose, flying at your head after an IED strike or as an IED strike happens, right? It can be lethal. So having a helmet does tremendous, tremendous effects to prevent that from happening.
That's pretty hard.
So if you were like, hey, you only get one object, one piece of protective gear, the helmet would I would probably pick honestly a ballistic vest, but the helmet would be a close second.
Keep your boots and then you take these shades as well.
What are you doing? Are you accessorizing?
Let's bug out east.
Yeah.
East.
Wait, sorry,
Sure.
west. Never eat seaweed. Yeah, west.
The other Ish.
Never eat seaweed, as I've been told and like to
No.
call it. Nobody enjoys Sovietwomble.
Shut
That's pretty good.
That's the fuck up. That is not becoming a thing. That is absolutely not
It's
becoming
already
a
a thing.
Da 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 da. Da, 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 da,
Oh god,
da,
no,
da,
he's
da,
got
da.
no.
Oh Christ! Whoa! Oh shit! Oh shit! I'm on fire! Oh, car.
Whoa!
Oh shit, there's a car there.
Obviously it's cyanide.
Taxi service.
The world's worst taxi service.
Psych.
You would have an Uber rating of 0 or negative.
Bastard.
Wait, I need a
Do you know Uber actually rates you as a driver? And in fact, Uber even will It doesn't allow drivers with a 4-star below to continue to operate on the platform. So 5-star is the I should be an Uber driver, and 4-star and below is you shouldn't be an Uber driver.
Lift, actually. I can't get through
Go on,
there.
then. I'm giving him a lift because he's got more YouTube subscribers than you do.
Hey!
He can
Damn, Frankie on PC. Wow. I'm surprised. He's got some celebs in here.
serve me better with
I heard he disappeared.
Twitch views. Bye.
You bastard! You traitorous bastard! Okay, is this where I need to be? Yeah, I'll keep looting this town. Like a glove? Is there a hotkey for bandages?
9.
9 is in German, no, or 9 is in the...
You never know with Cyanide about that, because he varies, doesn't he?
Ich liebe Hähnchenflügel.
Why is he speaking German?
That was actually pretty close.
The fuck
I
is
know,
a
right?
Hähnchenflügel?
Yeah, I've been practicing it.
Why?
Chicken wings.
Oh,
Hähnchenflügel.
yes.
I said I love
You're
chicken
practicing
wings.
ordering food in German.
I mean, you got to get the essentials down. And I'll tell you, when I moved to Brazil and didn't speak any Portuguese, one of my earliest victories was using the numbers to order a meal at a McDonald's. I still remember having to be like, número, por favor. Like it was awkward, and they were very generous until I realized that the only denomination of bills I had were hundreds, and so it was sort of like paying for a Happy Meal, a $3 Happy Meal or a $5 Happy Meal with a $100 bill. They looked at me pretty suspiciously, and then had to like check it and verify the watermark and everything, which I thought was hilarious. Again, because I'm very obviously a lost and confused American. So logically, you're going to see me pay with some inappropriately large bill. Again, not my fault. I was like, let me get out $200, not appreciating the exchange rate. And you have to do it because at some point you gotta make change. Anyway, all this to say, ordering food, it seems like not important, but actually when you're in a foreign country, it's maybe the most important thing.
Yeah.
Of course you are. Got one. Where's the other one? Oh shit! Where is it? Where'd that come from? Fuck! Ow! Beverell, don't you run off! Beverell!
Fuck you!
Get your ass back here! Beverell! Beverell!
Yeah, we've discussed this. It seems like there's a big cultural gap. In the U.S. military, you never leave your wounded comrades behind. That said, sometimes you have to maneuver. You have to win the fight before you can start to treat and triage your casualties, right? And sometimes winning the fight means maneuvering. So it may be possible that you might temporarily not keep line of sight on your casualties. Possible, not that likely. But you should never just be like, F these guys, I'm out. Culturally, that is something that is drilled into soldiers at every single level, from officers all the way down to the lowest private. You never leave your soldiers behind. That said, it seems like in the Russian military, that is a lot more normalized. We've seen some videos of Russian soldiers either abandoning their units and walking off, or Russian soldiers being abandoned by their units as they drive off. And I can't imagine something more terrifying than being alone as an enemy in a hostile combat zone.
Oh, you massive motherfucker!
See, look how dangerous it is!
So it's like a dog sticking its head out the window.
Where are we going? Where are we going? Where are we going? Okay, one of the guns has decided that it's had enough of the game and it's gonna fuck off that way.
I can show you the
Oh man, more copyrighted music. God bless him. It's like Sovietwomble. Why do you hate success? I mean, this is.
3 shots and then.
He hit.
No, he fired back at you, man. He fired
He's
back
really
at you,
hit.
man.
He's really
Oh
hit.
my. I'm scared.
Ow! Why shoot me in the butt? I'm friendly. I'm not going.
Are
Where's
you?
the fucking cock?
Oh no, you both.
Yeah, I know, friends in war. No, friend and foe identification is really hard. It's one of the reasons, again, Ukraine, there's so much footage. This is what I'm talking about. One of the things you may notice is that neither side has really consistent camouflage patterns. Ukraine has a wide variety of digital camo. Russia has its digital flora, but there's a lot of irregular forces like the DNR and LNR militias that have sort of a mix and match camo policy. The result means that both sides appear to be using armbands to identify friend from foe. And usually this looks like they're using colored tape. And it appears that either different units will designate different colored tape for a particular mission. So they'll say, hey, today, colored tape, blue. And everybody puts real blue reflective armbands on to ensure that you can do some friend and foe identification. If you look at U.S. Special operations, especially in Syria, it became very common to actually have actually, it appeared to be most U.S. forces, but especially special operations forces like SEALs, who might dress in a more indigenous way. They would actually have rolled up American flags on their back, either tucked into their Mali gear, draped over a backpack, just something so that people could identify that, hey, this person is a U.S. forces, right? They're not indigenous.
Put down?
Nah.
Oh.
Just running places, I don't know.
Hey Siri, you want to maybe get dinner sometime? What is that? What is that? What?
What did she say? What did she say?
Nothing.
Did you just get turned down by Siri?
Damn, rejected by an AI that you literally own.
You were, weren't you? You were fucking turned down by a robot.
Take a second.
One of the things, okay, I'm going to be honest, one of the things that gives me the creeps is how into anime girls some young people are. Weirds me out, man. Weirds me out. And I worry that if we ever get a really good AI, right, a really Turing test passing AI, that a large portion of, it seems like it's just young men that develop these fixations. Let me know if there's examples of women who also develop worryingly strong pseudo-romantic connections with fictional characters, like to the exclusion of men. I understand like teenagers and middle school kids will do this. It's a coping mechanism, right? Anyway, the point is that it's kind of weird, and I worry if we ever get to a point where there's real AI, you combine that with a pretty robust like VTuber type animated character whose mouth can move and who has a set list of emojis, that you could actually produce these outcomes where people think they're in a relationship with an AI anime girl, and it again, young impressionable minds, it's just worrying, right? It's worrying on a bunch of levels, mostly because real human companionship, real intimacy is between two people, and it involves not acquiescence, right? It's not just the sort of fawning, praising, one-sided relationship that I imagine you would get from a female AI.
Anymore to pick things up
Female facsimile AI.
from the ground, finally.
I believe Sombrero's here. Yes, he is.
Shout out to everyone else playing Assassin's Creed guy, except for this dude who's bare-chested Assassin's Creed guy, and then Sovietwomble, who is just generic, maybe African woman.
The panic in his voice when you hear him drop food. What? How far did he drop the food? Across the bloody room?
It was on the floor.
Right.
Did you suck it up like you did the thing, Phil?
Listen, let's ask questions nobody wants the answer to.
I was banging my ex one time that we had this sort of music thing going on. The music had cut in Morpheus from The Matrix. I think he was in the middle of his, what is real speech, trying to continue the rhythm to Lawrence Fishburne, sort of just talking.
I mean, guys, we've all been there, and I actually used to play generic sort of instrumental music when I would teach jiu-jitsu classes early in the morning. And I had a few instances like this where they would splice in random movie clips and stuff thinking it was being edgy or dramatic, but in fact, it was just really irritating. And it took me forever to find a playlist that had truly no words, nothing spliced into it. And when I did, I was so happy.
It was quite difficult, and I went from sort of in the moment to pushing rope very quickly.
So the other thing that if you've ever had this happen, you know that in the good old days, in the bad old days, when you had a playlist, right, and you would bring a girl over, and this is like when I was in college, so again, 15 years ago, you had a playlist right? And maybe it was just your favorite playlist. Maybe it was a sort of designated intimacy playlist. But if you screwed up and played the wrong playlist or played a song that you liked and then it automatically started working its way down the playlist, is you would run the risk, or worse yet, it shuffled through your whole library. The classic issue was that you would have one cool song, a second cool song, a third cool song, and then the Power Rangers theme would come on. Why had you put on the Power Rangers theme? Maybe you downloaded it to, mock one of your buddies, or, take your pick. Maybe you just had some sort of dumb debate over what the lyrics were. Doesn't matter. It's on your hard drive, and now it's being played for this girl you're trying to sleep with. So it was a true curse, right? Now Spotify has the good sense to ensure that if you stop listening to one song, it'll generally just play things that are thematically similar. It's not going to throw in the Rugrats theme for 10 hours or whatever nonsense you've downloaded.
For the boner kill, you bull bastard! Why are you running like that?
Style.
You're running sideways.
I also have scoliosis.
I'm hearing ammunition tinkling onto the floor. Is that one of us?
Probably. It's just a glitch.
It's very weird.
That is really weird.
Feels like I'm dropping change.
There's so many glitches to this game, honestly.
Stop it. Oh wow, no, hang on a second. It's my pistol. A ghost is reloading my pistol. That's weird. Look at that.
So weird.
Why, thank you. That's very helpful, Mr. Ghost there. Yeah, stop ghosting.
Second.
I want to point out that these bullets he's putting in the gun or the rounds he's putting in the gun have no bullet. So this is just loading blanks.
Right side.
I'm being haunted by all the shots I've missed.
I don't understand sex.
Yeah, no.
I just want someone to touch my pee-pee.
Poor Cyanide. I mean, not poor. He has a McLaren. One, I don't think you could... I can't imagine that if you drive supercars or own supercars, even a supercar, that you actually cannot find someone to have sex with. I've heard that putting a very high-end car on your dating profile can produce very different results. I haven't tried it, obviously, but I will say that when I first started dating my wife, she found out I had a car, which in the inner part of Washington, D.C., is a big deal, right? It's expensive to park a car. It's expensive to register a car. And even though it was a Ford Focus that barely ran, she was like on our third date, like, will you take me to the Asian Mart? She's Cuban, by the way. You just can't get Asian food anywhere. You got to go way outside the city. It's not accessible by public transit. And I did, in an uncharacteristically simp move. I was like, yes, we will go to the Asian Mart. But I told her, I am buying a lot of candy.
Yeah. Tell me about it.
What, about my pee-pee?
No, not your pee-pee, but
Well, it's average.
No. Going to
Over the road.
Yeah.
Edberg,
Hi.
Are you on the flipping roof? Get inside.
No.
I mean, the funny thing is Sovietwomble never shows his face. So no one knows that he's the internet famous Sovietwomble. You have to go on a few dates with him. And maybe that's the point, right? Like, you wonder who would kind of come out of the woodwork if they knew it was Sovietwomble, the legend.
Why are you on the roof?
I like it.
That's how Eggberg rolls. Ow! Ow!
See? You deserved everything that came your way.
Foot bubbles, foot bubbles.
I'm stopping.
Behind the car. One behind the car. One behind the car.
Oh no. Oh no, please don't. Please
Ramming
don't.
speed.
Oh no.
let's go in.
No, I can't. God damn it, man. This is all copyrighted music. I hate you so much, Sovietwomble.
Here we go.
I hate you so
One man
very
left.
much. I just need to like mute this, I guess.
You got him! You got him as well! Got him. Finished him
Ramming
off.
speed.
That's
It
pretty
always
impressive.
works.
You know, sorted everything out.
I appreciate the terrible car wreck physics, right? Even movies get car wreck physics really wrong, where the cars will hit and they'll like gadoosh, right? But in fact, the momentum will like push them together and they may actually get stuck together. Cars behave really differently at high speeds and they behave really differently when they collide with each other. That's why there's whole designated defensive driving courses that the Army will send its protective service people to. And that's to get them to understand the reality of having to drive a car offensively, basically.
I am actually ready to. So cold.
Why are you cold? Put the heating on.
I live in Singapore. We don't have heating. I'm just cold because every time, whenever I get fucking stabbed, I get cold.
Who's stabbing him?
You didn't get stabbed. You had a blood test. That's not being stabbed.
He lost maybe 1% of his blood.
Not even that.
I am a stab survivor.
Oh, Jesus. Yeah, listen, it takes a lot. So if you donate blood, you actually shouldn't do things like engage in exercise shortly thereafter, right? That can actually be pretty dangerous, right? Your blood's ability to maintain blood pressure through strenuous exercise can actually be diminished a little bit. But if you did take a small amount of blood, a vial or two, it makes no measurable effect on your performance, your ability to do anything. Any damage it does is purely psychological. That said, I learned something really interesting from a YouTube video the other day, that apparently there used to be a belief that starting an IV bag would help maintain blood pressure if someone lost a lot of blood. And they found that, in fact, that wasn't the case, that the falling blood pressure was actually just made worse by the IV bag, right? The IV bag would increase blood pressure, but it would also make it more likely that the heart and lungs would push out blood. You would bleed worse if you got an IV bag. And again, just a case study where it's actually better to have your blood pressure drop so your body holds on to more of the blood than to keep it high using something that isn't blood. Very fascinating sort of change over time.
Come on.
Oh, for fuck's sake.
Oh, apparently there's a bulletproof vest somewhere?
Press F on it. You just picked it up, yeah.
Really? That's the bulletproof vest? It doesn't cover any of my vitals.
Well,
look at this shit. Look at this. My heart, my lungs.
We call those non-essentials.
Wow.
Hey, listen, man. Getting shot in the stomach can suck. Getting shot in the stomach can suck. And also, protecting your kidneys, right? If you have a major artery severed, you don't have that long to live, right? It can be... you won't make it to the hospital in all likelihood. So protecting your kidneys, even some of the arteries around your legs and arms is really important.
Oh, that is... Oh, that's a dude.
why it's
Oh!
After heart, lungs, and brain, it's probably the things you should protect the most. But they're also the hardest to protect because obviously arteries run all throughout your body.
He shot you!
There's, are you dead?
Hang on, I got him.
His friend. You should probably shoot his friend.
Oh, I got him. Oh.
Right. Now, could you... Oh, you shot me.
No, that wasn't you. You're...
That was me!
Oh! No! Sorry, I thought that was him, and then he crawled there. Are you okay? Are you dead? Are you angry at me now? Hello?
No, somebody rage quit. I mean, being killed by a friend is hard. Friendly fire is tough, and it's tough in urban environments. There's been a couple of instances where U.S. soldiers have shot some of their own, or U.S. military personnel have shot some of their own people just because of the sheer chaos of urban combat.
I will start my three-part apology by saying that you are a wonderful man.
I'm coming to Brighton.
Right.
And I'm going to skin you alive.
Right. So I've got this thing.
Yeah, but he already lives in Brighton. Isn't that punishment enough?
Get fucked. Take me places, driver.
Right.
Can we use that?
See, this is a metaphor for our entire YouTube Twitch relationship.
Damn, shots fired. Okay, what I will say is that yes, a lot of U.S. forces, U.S. Special Operations Forces, love these unarmored dune buggies. And it's pretty fascinating that they are even in the arsenal, right, in the era where we have so many other armored vehicles. But the appeal is that dune buggies are extremely lightweight. They can go for a long distance on one tank of gas. And they can be a really efficient way of covering a large distance if you don't expect contact. That's the key. And it's pretty common, though. You have to think, if you're a SEAL team, right, and you're going to hit an objective, you can't land a helicopter on that objective. Or you can, but you have to be reasonably certain that your helicopter, infill won't be detected early enough for people to flee, or that they won't have easy methods to flee. Again, you can hear a helicopter a long ways out, and you'll know something is wrong. So, What do they do to solve that? Well, they will have the helicopter land sometimes 5 or more miles away, and they will infiltrate on foot their target objective. They'll have done a map recon and will carefully know exactly how they're going to approach and how they're going to deploy once they reach the objective. But all that to say is that sometimes you can't even get within walking distance, or you have so much gear that anything that's going to make things just a bit more efficient is going to be worth it. And a dune buggy is a great way of doing that. Fuel efficient, moves fast, good on lots of different terrain, and can really save your guys' effort, or even allow you to bring even heavier stuff to the fight. For example, heavy anti-armor weapons, or even an entire mortar with mortar rounds.
Isn't it?
Yeah.
I do the driving, you just sit at the back with your tighty whities.
Yep. Siri just keyed up for some reason.
Your language.
What? Fuck you!
So I'm just gonna do.
Man, okay, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe an AI anime GF would still talk shit on you and call you out on your BS.
The honourable thing and fucking hide. In fact, no, I'm gonna go up to the church and.
So it would be pretty creepy to be like, hey, there's this AI, it's a companion AI, people enter like pseudo-romantic relationships with it, but it's owned by a corporation. Like, imagine if Google got to program your wife or your girlfriend or your partner or your spouse, and they were just like, hey baby, Whole Foods has 30% off sushi, let's get sushi tonight. It would, right? Wouldn't that be creepy? Also, if you were like, hey man, Google really has a lot of control over our lives, right? Like, it's pretty scary sometimes how much of our data they have. And she was just like, Google has a long track record of being a corporation who uses data appropriately and complies with all US law, right? That would be weird.
Go back where I was before. Thank you, Llama Leaf on the wind. Thank you. I realised that actually says I am a leaf on the wind and I'm actually a retard.
Can't use that word, but we'll just let it slide. Yeah, I like llama leaf on the wind. Llamas are such interesting animals.
You back at the same fucking
I am
place.
back in the same fucking place.
Oh my god.
It's advantage.
Apparently, llamas are pack animals, and you can't have more than 3 of them. I know you're like, Paul, I came here for military commentary, and you're giving me llama facts. Buckle up, nerds. This is my channel. You're getting llama facts. Llama fact, llamas are herd creatures, and it's incredibly psychologically damaging to have a single lone llama. They need to be in groups of at least 3.
Point over the.
So if you want a pet llama, you're getting 3 pet llamas.
Like, the where are we?
Oh, by the way, they haven't implemented fall damage yet, so you can just jump off.
Yeah, I'm not buying that shit. No fucking way.
They haven't implemented fall
No
damage. How do you think I
fucking
jump?
way.
How
You
do
think I was born
jumped off the tail of
yesterday?
the- Don't fucking jump off then. That's not. I don't give a shit. I'm just telling you how the game is.
Uh-huh.
Like, they haven't implemented fall damage yet.
Yeah, I'm not buying it. No fucking way.
I'm telling you.
I know you. I fucking know you.
What
I
reason
know
do you
you.
have to distrust?
Yeah, this is, yeah.
The last 3 fucking years.
I've been relatively trustworthy with some sprinklings of,
Total fucking lies. Not buying it.
just trust.
No.
This is the problem with lying once. This is why trust is so important, whether it's in business, politics, international relations, or relationships. You need trust, because once someone has proven a willingness to deliberately lie to you about one thing, then it calls into question every other thing that they do. And when you end up in that situation where you can no longer trust someone you're dealing with, you have to engage in very costly transaction costs. For example, let's say you're a business and you sign with another business who agrees, hey, we're going to sign a contract to provide you with raw materials so you can manufacture your widgets. Well, if you pay, they say, hey, we need half up front. You give them half up front, and then they stiff you. They lied. They lied in the contract. Now you go, great. The next time we sign a contract, I can't just have it be me and the other company, right? Now, the next time you got to go, hey, we're going to put this money, we're going to hire a firm to hold it in escrow, to hold it separate from either party. and they will release the funds only after the contract has been fulfilled, right? Or you have some other elaborate mechanism where you pay them, but you get some sort of asset as collateral or something happens that you have, but it has to be really costly. It costs time, it costs effort, it may literally cost more. You may have to pay that firm to hold the escrow money. It's all very, very annoying. And it's one of the reasons people talk about high trust, low trust societies. In high trust societies, transaction costs are lower, right? Because you can be reasonably certain, for example, if you hire a contractor to do some, work around your house, that they're going to come and actually perform the work. In low trust societies, you would absolutely never do that, right? And the inverse also occurs. If you're a contractor in a low trust society, you might do the work, but you know that this person may just stiff you on payment. And so you have to come up with these very elaborate ways and very costly ways of ensuring that both parties will hold up their end of the deal. In high trust societies, there's a lot of small transactions where that doesn't happen.
No way.
Have a little faith.
It's one of the things actually that I think is one of the most powerful applications of blockchain technology is smart contracts, where when the contract is fulfilled, automatically certain conditions are automatically paid out. It allows situations that are low trust. For example, two corporations in very different countries, for example, can in fact engage in business without paying these massive transaction costs.
No.
You say no because I'm brown.
Are you making this a race thing?
That's pretty fucking
Oh,
racist.
boy.
Like, you're not believing a brown person? That's pretty fucking racist, dude.
I'm not jumping.
You don't have to jump, just walk off it. You'll be fine. Trust me, it's not gonna do any damage at all. But don't believe me. You'll just never know. You will never know, and that curiosity will eat you alive, and you will wake up at 2 o'clock in the morning and wonder, was he telling the truth? At least this way you'll know.
Oh, fuck it.
You'll know. See?
Oh, you were telling the truth. See,
You're a liar! You don't assume.
See, this is the thing. You've been lying to me constantly.
I mean, that was a pretty low drop. I don't know. He could sell some fall damage.
For the last 3 years, and the moment you tell the slightest kernel of truth, this doesn't undo everything you've done prior to this.
Right. Look how long it took. Look how high. This is a good example. Look how high the transaction costs were of just Soviet and cyanide like sharing information, right? It was a massive debacle. And this is illustrative of what happens really when you have a partner who says one thing but does another. Again, business, relationships, politics, countries, it's all the same. And once you consider that, once one country believes they've been lied to, or one party believes they've been lied to and that they can no longer trust another person, you see how dramatically different and more hostile the relationship becomes.
Point.
I'm truthful now.
Oh, fuck you. Fuck you.
it's a new
You're
league.
such a dick. Oh, no. Oh, no. Yeah, pop to the right. Pop to the... Oh, there he is.
God, no.
And I'm not
Fuck off. Oh, shit. Ah. Ow. Fuck.
Jesus fucking Christ. Paltos! Oh, god damn. You know what? Fuck this.
Oh no, not again.
what I think he's gonna
Not
do.
again. Not more copyrighted music. It's just pure troll.
Hi, Cyanide.
Hey, baby. You need a car wash.
Oh, wow. The car actually rocks with you guys on it.
I love it. Suggested Billy Joel we didn't
Yeah,
start the
blow right up,
fire.
whatever it is. Right, shall we, shall we? Let's go.
Go.
Cyanide, you go
I
first.
really feel like someone's gonna come.
It's funny. Actually, cars, because they're so heavy, make great roadblocks. But what are even better, if you wanted to block like a bridge like this, would be industrial vehicles, especially dump trucks or cement trucks, because dump trucks can be easily loaded up with just dirt or gravel or something heavy, and suddenly you have something that's probably, I don't know, 20,000 pounds, right, of heavy steel blocking an entire roadway, right? It can stop other vehicles. It can stop actually very, very heavy and powerful vehicles from getting through. And if you're combine that with some defensive armaments, you have a really, really, really powerful roadblock. Again, imagine being a Russian tank getting stuck right in front of two big dump trucks that you have to slowly push through, and then someone shoots, an NLAW into you, and now that roadblock is 2 trucks full of gravel and also a burning tank, right? It can be really, really, really decisive.
Someone else go first.
And it's cheap, right? Everywhere do they have big dump trucks, right? You can even do the same with slightly less robust vehicles. Sandbags and a pickup truck is a good example.
I don't want to be the first one. Oh, Cyanide, what are you doing? Oh, Cyanide!
The physics.
Cyanide! Now it's not the time! I hate this fucking clan! I hate this fucking clan so much! Oh my god.
All right, guys, that was pretty good, honestly. You just gotta love it, man. You just gotta love it. Trolling, watching Soviet get trolled is just great fun, man. You can't. I mean, the best trolling is exactly what old Cyanide did, right? Where he experienced all the anxiety, all the frustration of being lied to, only to be told the truth. Right. So anyway, guys, thanks so much for watching. Oh, thanks to our patrons on Patreon who get access to exclusive content, which actually by the time this goes live, they'll have another exclusive video. I try to do like the 1st and the 15th. Thanks to our lieutenant tier patrons, Cole Foster, Command Unit, Caffeinated, Jock Flavius, Chris, Dr. Shadowcop, Porter World Time, Brandon Armitage, Telrune, and Astro Hunter. You guys make this possible. Also follow me on Twitch, twitch.tv/combatvetpaul, and I'll see you guys in the next one.